Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Another exciting show and definitely another exciting guest. Today, we're going to go into one woman's journey to, let's put it the way it is, save lives through information, through research, through even the most important thing here, pain. Let me tell you where we're going with this story. Imagine, if you would, meeting the love of your life. Age difference about 10 years. You both find out that you have a thing for fitness. You realize that your partner later has some issues that he's dealing with mom, dad, like we all do. But then on top of that, health issues start to surface. Cancer, prostate, and more importantly, a brain cancer that there was no cure for. And you have to be the supporting cast here. You have to figure out that eventually life is going to change for you, for him, and everybody around. Such a beautiful story. But out of this story is going to come an educational part. And that educational part is where we're talking about now, how this one lady decided to take all that pain, all that stuff that she went through to basically say, I'm going to make a difference in somebody else's life. Definitely set with that beast mindset. I'd like to welcome all the way from Texas, Miss Diane Williams, to the show. Diane, how you doing?
I am doing great. I'm going to try not to cry after all that, because it does resonate really hard, and it's early on. He passed July 7th last year, so I haven't had a lot of time to process all this, you guys. But yeah, my name's Diane Williams. I'm here from Dallas, Texas area, and yeah, I've been through a lot. And but with all that, I still want to help others through my pain. So I'm going to try to do this so I can help you guys and get through this. I didn't realize how hard it was going to hit me.
Take your time. Before we get started, before we go down that particular part of your life, tell the viewers a little bit about who you are. Let's talk about you for a minute. Who is Diane Williams?
Oh my gosh, let's sum it up in a nutshell, because I'm a fireball. I have the heart for God. I have a heart for people. I have a servant heart. I've always had that heart from a little girl. I'm now 61, just turned 61 August 28th of this year. But yeah, I'm a giver. I'm a lover. I just want to help people. I want to help people not go through the loss and pain of losing another family member when it can be turned around. More than likely it can be turned around. But, we got to make some changes, you guys. We got to do better. So that's who I am.
Were you born in Texas?
I was born in Texas. I was born in McKinney, Texas. I don't know if a lot of you viewers know where that's at. It's north of Dallas. But, in 1964, I was born in a hospital there. And we lived pretty much that area our whole life, growing up. And didn't get much further than Dallas, and now I'm still in the area 61 years later.
So let's move forward a little bit. And you wind up meeting this man. You're 30s, he's 47, 48 years old. That had to be like, what was it about the attraction with you two?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I had been married before him and had a daughter with my first husband. Right out of high school. At 21, I had her. We were engaged, but then we were going to call off the engagement. We knew that we weren't meant to be, but then God had a different plan. So we had a daughter. We stayed married 7 years. I stayed single 2 years. Wasn't planning on, bringing a man into my daughter's life. Just trying to be a single mom. Not really getting a lot of support from my husband or child support or anything. So I moved in with my parents. But then my husband, I actually ran into it at a country and western bar because I love to dance. I don't go there to drink. I'm not a drinker really, but I love to dance. And I met him there, and I walked by, and the first time he saw me walk by, I had long blonde hair, Daisy Duke shorts and boots, and he said, "How you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing good. How you doing?" And he got my number, and I'm telling you, we were married within 6 weeks of that. And when he passed, we would have been married 30 years. So it doesn't matter how long you know that person. You just know what you know.
You got married within a few weeks of knowing somebody. You know, people would say that's crazy. Like you just knew instantly that's what you wanted. You guys wanted to be together.
Yeah, I knew he was a good person. I knew he was a good dad, which says a lot about a person. You know, I knew how much he loved his children. I knew how much he loved God, more importantly. Did he have a ways to go with God and who he was? Yeah, because even though I married him within 6 weeks, you guys, I left him within probably about that much time after, because he got, he was controlling. There were things he didn't reveal. And like you said, you don't know what you're getting yourself into with all that. But he was controlling. And so, I told him to go get counseling because I left him. I left him in a day. He went to work and I was gone. I don't mess around. I'm not going to be neglected, abused in any way. But you know what? God changed him. He went and got counseling through our church, through a Christian mentor. And it wasn't perfect, but I loved him enough and he loved me enough to make that commitment, not just to the eyes of God, but to each other. And it worked. And when he passed, he was the love of my life.
Now, you talked about walking away from that. A lot of women probably wouldn't have done it that easy, but you had enough. Did you have enough faith in him to know that he would go seek help for his issues? Because we talked off camera, and a lot of people, I'm not trying to put his business out there. God rest his soul.
He wanted you to. He was that person. If it can help someone, his story, he wouldn't mind me sharing anything about that.
You did indicate a little bit that he was also dealing with, let's call it a little bit of trauma from his own childhood as well.
A lot of trauma.
About that. A little bit about
that. For a little boy and a little girl to have to go through what he went through and come out on the other side smelling like a rose is huge in itself. So at the age of 5, his little sister was 3. There was just 2 of them. His dad was an alcoholic, smoked a lot of cigarettes, had, lung cancer in the end, and that took his life, coughing up blood and all that. But the wife, because his dad was cheating on his mom, she just had enough. But when she left, she should have took her children with her. But selfishly, she left and didn't say one word and left him and his little sister, to fend for themselves with the drunk. And so he immediately goes and finds another woman within minutes of the mom leaving and marries her and brings her home like a dog for their children to play with and says, "This is your new mom. You'll call her mother." And she abused him. She whooped him. She beat him. The sister, we didn't know if she could ever have kids. He was having an appendicitis attack one time and she whooped him for crying. And I had my appendix removed, so I know that pain. And yeah, she would have let him die. She didn't care. And God saved him. God saved him not just then, but multiple times. So yeah, he dealt with a lot. Not feeling loved, not having a birthday party ever. If you can imagine, as a child, I could cry. And he never had a birthday. And that's what he dealt with, and I know a lot of people do. And he was broken, you guys, but God, I say, you know what, why I stayed back to that is because I loved him, and I believe in the commitment in the eyes of God, unless, there's sexual immortality or whatever, or physical abuse. But yeah, I just knew God was going to change him because I prayed for that.
When did he, we don't really know people. And I always tell people, you really don't know people until you live with them.
Amen.
You know, I mean, you can always say something, do something, but until you physically live with somebody, you don't
Yeah.
really know, because a lot of people won't tell you those hidden, what we call skeletons in the closet. When he
Yeah.
shared those skeletons in the closet, was it after you came back and he found redemption? Is that when all of a sudden all of this childhood trauma came out? The reason that he was the way he was, and he have to basically make a true confession with you as you came back to him and said, you know, I'm gonna put all my cards on the table. This is why I am. But I took your advice. I went to counseling, went to church, whatever. But now I'm ready to. I love you enough that I'm ready to tell you this is what my life has really been about. And more important, it's a two-part question. The second part of that, once he told you all that, I don't know if his mother and father and sister are still with us today, but did you happen to ever meet any of them?
No, his dad, he hadn't had a relationship with his dad for years. His dad, believe it or not, tried to put him in the military when the Vietnam War was going on. Some part of it, I don't know what part of it. When he was 16, he was underage, and when he got there, they dropped him off and just going to check him in, you know, into the military, because the stepmom didn't want him around. She wanted him out of the picture. She had her own kids, but she didn't want his kids. So they tried to put him in the military, and they found out he was underage. And so they're like, no, he can't, you know, he can't check into the military. And so they were trying to get rid of him at 16. So he went out on his own. He lived with his aunt for a while, his aunt and uncle, and they took him under his wing, and they were good people. They were God-fearing people, so they kind of gave him some structure. But I'm telling you, he didn't really have much structure of a Christian or who God was until, you know, his aunt brought some of that to the table. But he got saved, you guys, on a ranch, on a cowboy ranch, because he was a cowboy. He worked cattle and horses, and he saw a cowboy off of this horse at the cross, like they do in pasture land, and he stopped and asked the guy what he was doing. He said, I'm praying. And he witnessed to him, and he got saved at 19 without a mom or a dad. His mom, you know, left, but no, he never did. I never did. His real mom came back into his life just a few years before he died, and didn't even know his birth date. She kept arguing with him about his birth date, and she passed away. The dad passed away at 47, and he was going to his dad's death bed to confront him and get closure and ask him why he never loved him. And his dad died before he got there, so he never got that, and it always affected him.
What about his mom? Did he talk to his mom about?
Now, he talked to his mom on the phone. She reached out after years. The woman went and created a new family with another man and never told that new husband she had children from another man or another life. And when he found out, way years upon her, he left her. He was disgusted by her, which he should have been, that she could do that. And that wasn't the woman he married, so he left her. And she was alone when she died. And there was never any resolution with her or the kids, because she was a narcissist, and she didn't want to take ownership in what she did to them. She never said she was sorry. She acted like nothing ever happened. I guess that's what narcissists do. I'm not real familiar with them. But yeah, she just acted like nothing ever happened, like she could just pick back up in his life, no big deal.
So,
you know,
now he winds up, which comes first, the prostate cancer or the brain?
Okay, so the prostate cancer came about 3 years maybe into our marriage. He was a bodybuilder. He was into health and fitness, and he didn't look 78. I mean, he didn't look 47 or 48 at the time. And so that's why it made it easy to be with someone like that, because he took care of himself. He was fit. He was healthy to the structure. He was a hard worker, so that kept him young. He wasn't on any medications, which is unusual because most people at that age of 47, near 48, are already on multiple medications. But then the cancer came at an early stage, And we just prayed about it. We decided to not do chemo. We weren't familiar with chemo or cancer, really. Nobody in my family had it or his genetically. So we just dropped down on our knees. For him to work a physical job of horseshoeing, for anybody on here that knows what a farrier is that works on horses, it's hard work. No 20-year-old could keep up with him. It's hard labor. It's sweat, blood, tears. It's, dangerous work. Horses can kill you. And they have before people, but that's what he did. And so he was exposed to fly sprays, the pesticides all over the horses for 55 years. Roundup, they were finding in his body, Roundup that you use to kill grass.
Yeah.
They're still using it, and they use that in the barns a lot to keep the grass out of the horse stalls, where he's working on the horses. And then heavy metals, aluminum from the metal shoes. He held metal shoes and dusting and shaping the shoes, ambling, beating, shaping the shoes. He never wore gloves, so he had a lot of aluminum. He had parasites, which I want to, educate people on parasites. I don't know if you've heard. We all have parasites, and he had them. But his diet, he would always say, there's no way I can have parasites because I have the cleanest diet. You guys, we all have parasites. If you have animals, you have parasites. They come from the breath of the animals, horses. He had parasites because I could see them. They did a blood thing where you could look inside and you could see the parasites going after his undigested food. So, I want to educate people on parasites. It's what causes cancer, you guys. And I need to educate everyone on that.
So wait a minute. Let me go back because you're telling me some stuff I had no idea. I know we have parasites in our body, but you're telling me that if you have animals, are we even talking about dogs?
They lick you, saliva, breath.
Really? So the parasites gets in when if a dog is licking you on your face or on your hand, how is parasites getting into the system through the skin?
Because they're microscopic before they grow in your gut. They stay alive in your gut, attacking your organs. That's what. So we knew sugar was the culprit of cancer, processed sugar. The body has to have processed sugar, not fruit, you guys, processed sugar, which were, sugar's as addictive as cocaine. People are addicted to sugar, and you're getting my share because I don't eat any of that. Because the sugar feeds the parasite. The parasite has to have sugar to grow, and then they invade your organs. They eat away the organ tissue, And so none of us. So I do a parasite cleanse. I do a 4-day on, 3-day off. 4-day on, 3-day off. Then I take a break for 2 weeks. So
it's a parasite cleanse.
Parasites.
Cleanse?
Yeah. I'm going to teach you a lot.
What is a parasite cleanse though? What does that consist of?
Okay, a parasite cleanse, they make them special, you guys, for women, for human, and they make an animal form, ivermectin. I know y'all heard of it during COVID. Ivermectin is one. There's a Safeguard goat dewormer. And I know they're for animals, you guys, but, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people, and I can't say who because, they come after you, and there's danger to be on people like me that are trying to educate people like you, because there's people that are making money, off of people dying in big pharma. So I have to be careful who I name. But, they'll tell you ivermectin and Safeguard is not safe for people. But I'm telling you, my mom used it during COVID. She's 84. And she's still alive to tell about it. And she didn't go to the hospital for COVID at 84. She had it horribly. I helped her cure it at home over 2 weeks' time with nebulizers, hydrogen peroxide, ivermectin, zinc, everything natural. And she's 84, and I'm telling you, she don't even get out of her recliner to do anything good for herself. But I helped her get over COVID naturally, and it didn't take her life, and she didn't have to get on a ventilator. So
now, let me so he wound up recovering from the
prostate cancer. We cured that. We cured it. And you know what? I needed to know that when he passed, because everybody wants to think that spread to the brain, because this is what happens, you guys, with chemo. I know for a fact. They may tell you you're cancer free, And if you don't have anything showing up for 3 to 5 years, they'll say you're cancer free, but that is not always the case unless God creates a miracle. What happens is you cure it in that organ, but then it escapes to the brain or usually the liver, right? That's the two it likes to go to. But his was not that case, because when we went and found out he had a brain tumor that day, June 12th last year, he wasn't having any symptoms like most people would. You should be having seizures with a brain tumor. You should have headaches. He didn't have either one because of his diet. There's no telling how many years that man got of that brain tumor that most people wouldn't have, because he should have been out in 15 months. That tumor should have taken him. But because of his foundation of what he did for prostate, he never wavered from, even though the cancer was gone within a year. His PSA went from 6.8. It needs to be 4.0 or lower, you guys. And if y'all aren't getting prostate exams, it's not the best marker, but it's something to go with. You need to get your PSA markers.
What about women? What about women? We know that you're dealing, that you a lot of your information came from dealing with your husband, but what about women? What should they look for with these same type of things? Okay, so women, we have more of a hormonal cancer to look at, breast cancers, lymphatic cancer from the breast. And what's happening with breast cancer with women, I work with mostly cancer people. I'm a health coach, but I work mainly with cancer because that's what I'm most familiar with. But if I know how to work with cancer, I know how to work with every disease, right? Not that it's going to cure it, but it's a good start, to a great finish. But with women, it's a hormone balance thing. And women are getting a lot of synthetic hormones implanted in them. I was one of those. I don't do that anymore. Even though they make you think they're bioidentical to what your body has, it's not true. We should be able to balance. I'm 61, you guys. I went into menopause in my early 50s. I don't have hot flashes. I don't have the mood swings. I don't have any of the things that y'all are trying to fix through synthetic, hormones. The hormones, because I know you feel crazy. When women, we get emotional because of hormones, but I have ways to help people naturally balance out their hormones. I haven't been taking any for over a year now. I've balanced them out on my own, because you got to be careful with estrogen for women, and ones that are on birth control pills, you got to be careful with that, because they do cause blood clots too. I just have so much information, and you are a blessing, sir, because I have been praying for years to have this platform. Even if it goes nowhere, I've been praying to get this information. I don't have a degree. I have a life in this. I've lived it. I earned it. I earned the stripes of the knowledge I have. I put the time in. I don't take every Google for what it is. I put it to my own life and to my own health. As you can see, I don't look 61. You guys, this is not Botox. This is not fillers. This is health. This is healing. Now, we should be trying to turn our health around. Let me ask a question. You mentioned that you came off of the bioidentical therapy. What was you feeling that you decided to come off of it?
Well, for one, I couldn't afford it anymore after my husband passed away. And I think that was God pushing me in to do better, to get, off of those. They were $350 every 3 months to keep my sanity. To not be emotional, and I'm a widow, so I'm crying, I'm grieving, I'm already hormonal, and then I go cold turkey. But I started implementing natural products that I researched for hormones, and I came across one, and I'll put the link in for people. This company I was, because I promote a lot of products, not for the money. I promote them because they're good products, and they're just natural. I don't promote anything that is not of God.
What are at least a couple of the products? Are you talking about black cohosh?
Black cohosh is in one of the products I promote, but the problem is with black cohosh in supplement form, once again, it's supplementing. The one I have is a liquid swish. It's like a mouthwash. It's in 70 countries. We were the last to get it. Obviously, FDA probably didn't want us to. I don't know. But we were the last ones to get it because it's harder to get it in the U.S. when it's natural to other countries that are more about natural and are allowed to have that. But it's a nanotechnology. If you're not familiar with nanotechnology, it's very unique. like they shrink down the molecule particles in this product. It's a liquid, so it's better. But then they go a step further and they nanoparticle it, meaning it's so small you would not be able to see it with like nothing, not a magnifying. So they broke it down to where it can now not just pass through the blood, but get into the brain, the mitochondria, the brain of the cells, right? You're breaking through the cellular wall, because we can take nutrition all day long like me, but if you can't get in the cells, where cells is your DNA, to repair those damaged cells that the cancer, the disease has caused, you're kind of running in circles. You might get some results, but you're not going to get the results that you could get at the cellular level, put it that way. So this product, it's called hers. They just got it for the hormones. So I've been doing that for a year, right? Since I got off of my hormones. So it's got black cohosh, it's got Dawn, Kai, it's got all the ones that are meant for menopause. And when you switch and gargle, like you would a mouthwash, you would spit that out to this, you swallow. It, within 60 seconds, it bypasses the gut, so you don't have to digest it and lose a lot of the benefits. And then it's absorbed into every cell of your body, you guys, your brain, your bones, your bone marrow, your blood, everything. So I've got it in 2 IV clinics around here, local, that promote glutathione. Are you familiar with glutathione, sir?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm listening.
Glutathione, not L-glutamine that you work out with and create muscle and the building blocks, but glutathione is the most important miracle molecule antioxidant that God designed us with. And he gave it to us at birth, but we don't get that in foods and such. So glutathione, you can get in an IV form at an IV clinic and pay $70 for. But it only passes through the blood supply absorption. It's not going to get into the cells. So they are now on board with it because they're the people that want to help people, and they can actually make it more affordable than the IVs for these people.
Now, is this stuff available through health care coverage? Because naturally this stuff costs money. So is it available?
Okay, so it's not because it's a direct sales, but it is a company that takes pride in what they do. So they make it affordable. It's $50 a month. Is all it is. And then you can even earn it as a customer for free. So they'll give you your own customer website, and you can get 1 or 2 people, I think it is, and it pays for your product. So they make it as a ministry to try to help people, because Amazon's not going to do that for you, you guys, with their products. But they make it affordable, and they make it to where you can earn it for free with a little effort, because your family should be on it as well. My husband, when he got the brain tumor, they came out with one for the brain. I'm taking that one now. They sent it to him. They donated it to him, but he was too far gone, you guys. So I started taking it, and it is meant for people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and it feeds the brain. So it makes you sharper. And I'm telling you, it has done a lot for my emotional being in the brain, the dopamine, the serotonin, all that. Right. So I'm taking the brain one. They only have 4 products. One's for the brain. One's just glutathione that's for everything. Glutathione is a cancer cure in itself. It really is. It has sulfur in it, in with it. And then they have the female one, and then they have a hair one they just came out with that I just started using. So it goes in actually the hair follicles, and in the skin cells, you guys. So that's why my hair, it was so dry. And you see how soft it is? I've just been using it for a week. It's because it's going into your skin. They have one for the face. I use it on my face. It's a hydrostat, and I don't do Botox. I'm not going to put that crap. That's lobotomy or whatever you call it, botulism. And it goes into the skin. So that's why my skin looks like this. I don't use chemicals on my face.
So let me ask another question real quick. So you start changing your trajectory after the loss of your husband. So he goes into the hospital and he winds up with stage 4 brain cancer?
Yeah, terminal. They gave him maybe 3 months, you guys. And you know what's crazy, how God protected him? Because y'all don't know the love story we had. That man loved me too much, I think. I think he loved me more than God. And I would always say, baby, you can't worship me more than God, because God will separate us somehow, some way, if that's the case. And, so yeah, when he got that tumor, he went to work, That morning he was acting odd. He couldn't put his socks on. He was standing and like holding his foot up, trying to get his sock on, but he just stood there frozen. And I said, baby, are you okay? We had a conversation the day before. So when he went, I didn't know. I didn't understand what was going on. I was worried about him going to work, but he went out the door, called me in about an hour. He had gotten lost, and he didn't know where he was at. The next thing I know, I'm at the hospital. They broke it down within, just a couple of seconds, said it's a butterfly glioblastoma. Didn't tell me what that meant. It scared me because I hadn't heard of that in my cancer stories and how I help people. Never a brain tumor. And so that's a little tricky, and so they said he might have 3 months, and they say this to him directly. And they said, how do you feel, Warren? And he gives them a thumbs up and doesn't say anything. He couldn't talk after that day. I never could have a conversation with my husband again after that day.
I feel exactly what you're going through. It brings back memories because my best friend died of the same thing. We actually went to see the Marvel movie when it first came out, and within a few weeks, he was going on vacation with his wife, and I was at the gym. It was on a Monday, and they was like, somebody called me. His wife's friend called me and says, you need to go to the hospital. LaRue's in the hospital. And I'm thinking to myself, he was a professional bodybuilder. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So I've dropped everything, go to the hospital. He don't even know why he's there, but he had the signs. He said he had got lightheaded. He fainted a little bit and didn't think nothing about it. They did a biopsy and he wound up with stage 4. I never will forget it. And he went home. And I think he lived for maybe, like you said, it was maybe like 2 months.
Yeah, it's fast. It was fast with my husband. He lost his legs and everything within 2 or 3 days. The man couldn't walk. So I was doing all this on my own, you guys. At 90, I was nothing but muscle. See, I'm back muscle now, you see. But that's taken me a year because it's hard to gain healthy weight. I could eat burgers all day and gain weight, but I'm not here to just gain weight and be sick. I'm here to gain healthy weight and be weight. So I got down from 106 pounds of solid muscle taking care of him. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I didn't have time to shower. I just had to sink shower because with a brain tumor, they don't shut down. Their brain, it won't even shut down with morphine. The last 3 days of his life, he was suffering. The morphine wasn't helping. And that's the part that mentally messes with you when your loved one's suffering and you couldn't do anything to stop it.
When he wound up passing, what was that like? Because the brain is being traumatized and it's not shutting down. It's still somewhat working, and without even morphine not doing it. So how did you manage to keep yourself together as he passed?
That's a good question. All I can say is it was God carrying me because I don't know physically how I did it. At night, I got down. I lost 1 pound a day. I lost 16 pounds in 25 days. If that tells you how stressful and how exhausting, but how wonderful it was to be able to do that for my husband. I wouldn't have put him in hospice. There's no way I would have had him anywhere but here with me. But I have to say it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I was sick myself. I had gastritis. Even as a health coach, I had what you call gastritis. It's a inflammation in the stomach lining, and it gets trapped between the gut and the lining. So it's hard to treat even through my nutrition. And that was caused by H. pylori, and a lot of people don't know about that. And I need to educate y'all on that because 50% of the population has it. Don't know you have it till you have it. And then it can cause stomach cancer. And so that's a bacteria. So it destroyed my gut. I'm still trying to get that back, and I am, and God's healing me through products that I'm now promoting to help people with their gut and heart health because it's centered around that. But yeah, I lost a lot of weight. And after he died, I didn't want to go to the gym anymore because that was a huge part of our life. I didn't want to be hit on. I didn't want to be bothered. It was a part of our life that I would be sad if I went to the gym and he wasn't with me, because we did it our whole life together. So I worked out at home instead of drinking and turning to drugs or out partying, reminiscing. I stayed home, prayed it out, stayed it out, got on this thing called a Bosu. It's a half balance ball. Started training on it. And now I do some crazy stuff on monkey bars that 20-year-olds can't do. I hang upside down and do crazy sit-ups, pull-ups. It should be on the world's records for my age. But, because I'm strong, you guys. I'm strong mentally, but that's God. Got to give him the credit. But physically, it's nutrition. It's working out. It's moving the body. I also do lymphatics. I do a specialty lymphatics compression suit out of New Zealand. I ordered both suits during COVID, right before COVID. And now I'm doing that out of my home.
So,
lymphatics.
Before we wrap up, and let me give congratulations on you celebrating your birthday, and let
Thank
me
you.
deep condolence to the loss of your husband. But I can see you're still carrying the torch and trying to educate individuals so they don't have to deal with the pain, and at least have an option to at least
Thank you, Jesus.
to at least research what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, two-part questions. First of all, how can the viewers reach out to you? And then second of all, the last part of that question is, what's in store for you next? You talked about having a ministry. What's in store for you next, and how can the viewers reach out to you?
Well, it's funny because this is a podcast, which I've never done podcasts. I've done Zoom, stuff like that. Before this, I feel like God, I don't even know how this link got to me, through text or email or what, but I was like, this is weird that this is happening, because I've been praying I want to do my own podcast. I've been, trying to get things in order. Being a widow is hard. It's taken me a year, and I'm still trying to get things resolved and try to figure out who Diane is by herself, because I've been married my whole life. Never really, had the opportunity to date. Right now I'm dating Jesus, and I'm just spending my time with him. I'm trying to get my finances in order. A lot of my nutritional things I promote pays my bills. That's all I've got right now. It's not why I'm doing it, because God will provide. I ain't worried about that. I'm going to turn my faith to a different level. So I'm on Facebook now doing, giving the word. I was never that person to feed the word, but I'm doing that for people I'm just trying to pour my grief into others, because that selfishly helps me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How can the viewers reach out to you? Do you have an email or?
I have email. I don't have a website really, other than my websites for my products. I have my email. I have my Instagram. I do a lot of workout videos, and I'm going to do more health tutorials and juicing demonstrations, like juicing. My husband cured his cancer by juicing carrot juice, y'all. He would drink 8-ounce carrot juices a day. He turned orange, his hands. Beta carotene, kills cancer cells like crazy. So we did that. So I'm going to get back to doing that. So you'll find some of that on there. I do a lot of dance videos, because dance is my healing. It's not, provocative dancing. I don't do that. I express myself through music, all kinds of music. So I do a lot of dance. I like to break it down. And it brings me joy. My mom said I came out of the womb dancing. But so my email, phone number, I don't care. Y'all want my phone number? Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I got on TikTok to try to, educate people on nutrition too. I don't know how to use TikTok that well. It's very difficult, but I want to do more podcasts like this, sir.
Okay. So what's your TikTok information? Like, what are you known? What's your handle, so they can at least see you?
So I just changed it, because I just had a normal one they assigned me. So that is Diane Williams with an S. What am I? Dance Queen. Because I love to dance. I think I changed it this morning to Dance Queen 9080. So Diane Williams with an S and one N in Diane. Diane Williams. Dance Queen 9080.
Sounds like a winner. You guys make sure you support, follow. Take some of her information and do your own research to find out if there's something that.
Yeah, and I have links for my products. I don't know where they want me to put those at, but if they email me, I guess I can give them to them there. Or my phone number. I mean, I have spam blocker, but if they'll text me, if it doesn't ring through, you know, because I like to get to know people. I like to talk to them. I like to find out who they are as a human being and what they're needing.
I'm pretty sure they'll reach out to you on your TikTok page. Diane, thank you so much for taking time out to come in on the show. Definitely want to have you come back. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show.